One of the things that I'm trying to accomplish with this new Toad Trip series is to give in-depth looks at some of the things that I'm using and things that I assume folks know, but a lot of beginners and even intermediate and some advanced anglers may or may not know. So let's take a closer look at the Texas rig and some of the things that you can do to make rigging your soft plastics Texas style a little more effective. So the Texas rig is one of the most versatile ways to rig a soft plastic and one of the most popular. Texas rig basically consists of your line, weight, either free floating or pegged, and some type of hook. So I'm going to use a little bit larger hook than I normally would for a lizard, and I'm going to show you a couple things that you need to keep in mind when rigging a Texas rig. First and foremost, you want to make sure that your hook point goes in clean, and you want to make sure it goes in even. So I'm going to use a lizard because a lizard is the one that most people kink up and have a hard time rigging. So you want to come in straight and grab the head of the plastic and bring it in, and you want to stop right about the time that the transition or the curve of the hook. Ideally what you want to do is you want to have about the distance from the curve in the shank to the knot inside the plastic, and I'll show you the reason for that in just a second. So make a sharp entry out of the plastic, wet your hook so that the plastic slides on there nice and easy and it doesn't tear the plastic up in the process. As you push it up, you want to twist it and slide it up just above. Now, you want the hook to come out and you want it to be just above the knot. And the reason for that is you want your weight to come down, and when it impacts your plastic, you don't want your knot to be exposed. If your knot's exposed, that weight banging against it all day long can cause friction and premature failure of your knots. The other thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to have too much plastic past the tip of the hook, because if you do, when the weight hits it, it'll kink it up or push it down off of the hook shank. So you want to have that hook point in there just enough to barely cover the knot, slide it forward, it's nice and clean, and then when your weight comes down and hits it, it sits on there perfect. There's just enough plastic to cushion it, but not enough that when it hits it, it's going to push it off of the hook shank. And then here's a quick trick to make sure that you get the hook in right. First and foremost, if it went in the top correctly, when you line it up with the body, it's going to sit there straight, just like it is now. So grab the body and pinch it just where the hook shank wants to go through. Now bring the hook point up, and what you want to do is you want to get it right at the spot that you eyeballed. You want to come through at a 90-degree angle. If you come through at an angle, it's going to kink the plastic. And I'm going to do it both ways to show you. If you come through at a 90 and roll it, then when you level that out, you see you've got no bow in the belly, you push up on it, you push it forward and just expose that hook, and you've got a nice clean profile. Let me show you a big mistake that's made when rigging a soft plastic Texas rig. Again, not getting the right spot. Grab it back a little further. I'm going to show you how that works. Come in here and then go in at an angle like this instead of going through vertical, and then you've got, when you go to kink it, you get an S in the body. That's going to cause the worm to spin, that's going to cause it to kink, and it's going to cause it to, search. It's not going to give it a clean profile in the water. Now, there are times when you're wanting to tweak your plastics and give them a little more action, make them search a little bit, but when you're trying to rig it clean, the idea is to lay the hook on there naturally, just like that, grab it right at the spot where the hook needs to go through, and you want to come through at a perfectly 90-degree angle, and you want to come through dead center. I like to squeeze the plastic as I'm going through. It helps me guide it through there nice and easy. When it comes out, you'll get a perfectly centered profile. Then you just take that, slide it up, push it forward, and expose it so that that doesn't catch on grass. But when the bass grabs it, it pops out for an easy hook set. So again, the Texas rig is one of the most versatile styles out there. We'll get into why you should and shouldn't peg it at a later date, but I wanted to cover the basics of the Texas rig and why this is one of the most versatile setups out there. You can use this with lizards, worms, creature baits, pretty much any soft plastic out there. The Texas rig, if it isn't part of your arsenal, it should be. Learn to tie it right and you'll catch more fish.